Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
Fourth and goal to go with the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
All right. Welcome to the Gridiron. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please get down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel, description box below, very top link, takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, just underneath that, in the description box below, it's a link that takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,700 members in the group. It is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group down there 365. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. Well, hey, Brian's Big Blue Podcast. What's up, brother? How's it going? Thanks for checking in with me here. 11:30 at night. Yeah. It is late. So I appreciate anybody spends any time this late at night checking me out. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Well, got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Obviously still got the OTAs going on. But it's great having everybody, more Daboll saying everybody's showing up. Not everybody's participating. So some people's coming back from injuries and all that. But even though they can't do any, there's no contact or anything like that, it's certainly nice having the guys in the building, right? So, but I seen this one here. This one is kind of interesting. It's usually what the Giants are going, the way that they're going about their business this season, right? It just, especially if the way things really were, as bad as things were last season. Usually, when as bad as the Giants are, usually there's a lot of turnover. Sometimes there's even the front office, right? That's not the case. I mean, if you start thinking about it, right? I mean, not only did Tim Mara keep pretty much of course you're going to lose some coaches. Of course, every year we always lose a running back coach. So I think we've had 800 running back coaches in the past 800 years. But Mr. Mara's keeping the front office, the head coach. Everything's still intact, right? But I mean, if you start thinking about it, and especially if you think about what was one of their worst? They had a bunch of them, but their offense was horrible. Now, for many reasons, of course, when you have 4 quarterbacks playing, that usually causes some kind of problems, right? When you have as many offensive lineups, different lineups as the Giants had, that always causes problems. But I've said, if you think about it, right? I mean, as bad as their offense was last season, they're just carrying almost the same offense over to this season, with the exception of basically, the quarterback, right? Because you figure at the end of last season, right? We got Slayton, right? Wandell and Malik. Well, who's quite possibly going to be our 3 starting wide receivers this year? Quite possibly, right? Slayton, Wandell, Malik, right? I'd love to see some Cam in the backfield, but quite possibly he's going to be a starting running back. Tyrone Tracy Jr., right? Theo Johnson obviously did not make it to the end of the season because, surprise, surprise, he got injured, right? But he was the starting tight end for the Giants. Well, quite possibly. Oh, we're going to put a little caveat in there, right? Tight end. I got a little something to talk about here in a few minutes about tight ends. But quite possibly, who's going to be our starting tight end this season? In the beginning of the season, well, Theo Johnson. And of course, you got who's our left tackle? Well, of course, Andrew Thomas. Of course, he didn't make it to the end of the season because hard to believe. I'm shocked about it just as much as you are. He got injured. Hard to believe, right? Of course, John Runyon Jr. Right? Of course, he had some injury too. Shocking, but he's going to be our starting left tackle. John Michael Schmitz, center. Now, the one thing is the quarterback. Obviously, the quarterback's going to be different, unless somehow we wind up trading back for Daniel Jones. Don't think that's happening. But then you look at the offensive line, like the right guard and the right tackle. Now, you got quite possibly Luminor, right, or Marcus Bowe, right, at the right tackle position. Now, Bowe can beat out Luminor. Okay, cool. But if the old veteran can win back his job, right? Well, I guess Luminor wasn't necessarily the starting right tackle at the end of last season because he had to go over to the left side to fill the void of Andrew Thomas, right? But Luminor was the starting right tackle. So he might be the starting right tackle this year, right? Then, of course, we have the plethora of right guards. I don't know what they plan on doing with the Zudu, but maybe they get Zudu, try him at guard. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But you got Kubas, Stinney, right? GVR, and Evan Neal. Now, if somehow GVR winds up winning out on that competition, we might even have the same offensive line as we did last year, right? So, this is a big, gamble. It's like, they stunk last year, so let's bring everybody back again, right? What are your thoughts on Daniel Bellinger? Well, I'll tell you what, but, really, his rookie season, it was like, I'm not saying we have an all-pro here or a Hall of Famer or nothing, but it's like, he's doing all right, okay, and hopefully if he keeps getting better and better and better, gets on that, you usually want the guys to get better, right? But well, the 1 year, of course, Waller was here. Of course, that obviously, you trade for Waller. Waller's a starting tight end, so. But even last year, he knows every year he's been with the team, he's been with Daboll, so he knows the offense. But last year, Johnson was in there. Johnson nudged him out. They kind of abandoned him. Yeah, sometimes it's like, what the hell? Yeah, you're never going to know. Yeah, you never. Somebody could ask Daboll or something, but you're never going to get the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yeah, you ain't never going to get that. But it's just kind of weird. It's like, what happened to the guy? He got injured really bad. He got poked in the eye and all that stuff. And did that hurt him? Or it's like, if you remember, he came back the second year and he took somebody took a picture of him. His bicep was like about 35 inches around. He got, Bellinger bicep or whatever. He was looking huge and all that stuff and everything, but it just one of those things. I don't know. It's just what the hell happened to the guy. Don't know. But we're going to be talking a little bit about tight ends in a little bit here. It's something I keep reading. But anyway, you think of the Giants, they're bringing back almost the whole offense that they had last year. Now, if you look on defense, right, of course, we'll have a few different changes, of course, with Holland in there, Debo in there. Got some guy by named Abdul Carter. He might get a few reps this year, too. Alexander, right? See, he was looking, yeah. He posted, thank you. My name is Pat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But, with and I'm going to be talking about edge rushers here in a little while too. But, I mean, you figure we got Banks. Now he's not the first cornerback number 1 anymore, but he's cornerback number 2. We got Phillips, right? Of course, we got Newman coming back. Of course, he didn't finish the season. He was injured, but you got McFadden, you got a Karake, you got Sexy Dexy, you got Brian Burns, you got Kayvon Tibbet. So we got a lot of the defense coming back. So, I mean, the Giants, this short article here, but they're putting, so the Giants have made a surprising 2025 bet. They're pushing the chips in the middle of the table instead of a massive turnover, which you would expect quite a bit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, usually it's like, man, we suck. This team we got here sucks. So let's keep them all. All right. Does that make much sense? Now, usually it's like, let's get rid of half the guys. And if things are really that bad, let's get rid of the coaching staff, the GM, let's get rid of let's start it all over again. But that's not what happened with the Giants here. Instead of a massive turnover, the Giants had the league's most stable. Does that make sense? Starting lineup entering the season. That's crazy. When a team goes through a 3-14 season, that is usually followed by a heavy roster turnover, right? I mean, with 3-14, let's keep everybody. The one thing you got to say, obviously, was the quarterback play, injuries, and also we're young, very young team too. So sometimes with young players, you're going to go through some lumps, right? But the one thing I do like about it is we are a young team. Young team. That's very exciting. So usually there's a heavy roster turnover, even if the general manager and the head coach stay in place. Giants, though, are making a different type of bet. Joe Schoen insisted last season that the Giants weren't far off, despite results on the field screaming otherwise. Schoen and coach Brian Daboll pointed to the lack of consistent, capable quarterback play as the biggest reason, as the offense finished 30th and 31st in the NFL the past 2 seasons. Rather than strip down a defense, owner John Mara was clearly tired of watching at the end of last season and starting over. But Mr. Mara was also sick and tired, too, of watching the other teams walk up and down the field on the Giants' defense. He did say that, too. Shane and the Giants chose to stay with defensive coordinator Shane Bowen and add pieces to fortify the group. Now, honestly, just my eyes, though, honestly, as much as Daboll's seat is hot, maybe Shane's seat is hot, let's just step back here, too. At the end of the season, if we stink once again, Mr. Mara's got to sit back and instead of just taking everybody and throwing them in the dumpster, it's like, well, did Daboll do all he could do? With the roster that we have, right? And it's also kind of like, well, did Shane supply Daboll with enough capable, players to have a winning season or to do better than what we did? So those guys, they're it's not like just take everybody, get rid of everybody. They're their own corporations, shall we say, right? So they're not so tied together as we might once think. But also another thing is that Shane Bowen, his seat has got to be very, very hot. I mean, if we don't get some good results with this defense, I'm sure we can bring somebody else in here who can. I mean, Bobby Okereke also, he mentioned too, he said usually it's helpful being in a defense for the second season as well, too. So this will be a second season with the Bowen defense, right? Yeah. So hopefully that'll help Mr. Okereke. But I'll tell you what, if Bowen can't find, if we can't, there's got to also be a happy medium too. I mean, it's if the offense goes 1-2-3 punt, 1-2-3 punt, 1-2-3 punt, and the defense got to keep running on the field, after a while the defense gets tired. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But for the most part, if our offense can do something right more than what we did last year, I mean, this defense should really, really be good. Really, I'm not saying that. So I don't want to say top 5. We're not the best defense, but we better be in the top half. I mean, if Bowen can't get this defense in the top half, bye-bye. We'll get somebody in here who can. I mean, when the offense was abysmal, the defense just checked. Oh yeah. I mean, it's they give it their all, and they just sit back and watch it. They can't half the time. They probably couldn't even sit down. They run off to the field. They take their helmet off, put their helmet down. They grab a thing of Kool-Aid or whatever, and they turn around, and the offense is ran their third play, and they're now to run it off the field because they got that because they have to punt. It's like, oh yeah, it's yeah. You don't want the the offense and the defense going at it, but I mean, what some of those defensive players must be thinking is, I'd be pretty pissed off if I was some of them. It says here, a study from Jason Fitzgerald of Over the Cap points out just how much the Giants have doubled down on their belief a complete restart wasn't necessary after the 2024 season. Fitzgerald shows that the Giants, with 90.3% of their 2024 starters returning, which is the most in the NFL. Wow. Fitzgerald writes, that number is amazing considering how bad the team was last year. They have all of their players on offense returning, though Daniel Jones did not count at the end of the year, so he was a switch. And they ranked 10th in returning players on defense. Because we're going to have a few guys, obviously, with Holland, right, Debo, right. We're not sure who the starting tackle is going to be next to Sexy. Right? We don't even know if Nacho's even going to make the team, or he might become a cap casualty. Let's see, of course, some guy by the name of Abdul Carter's got to find some time on the field. So there are going to be some switches on the defense, that's for sure. But the Giants are clearly banking on the quarterback being the main problem from last year, and that better play will keep the team from spiraling. By comparison now, the Titans, who had the number 1 overall pick in the draft, return a league-low 56.7% of their 2024 starters. So basically, the Giants returning 90% of their starters. Meanwhile, the Titans have about half of their starters returning. Giants have 90%. The Titans have 56%. And that's a lot of what you usually kind of think of, right? If the team stinks, it's like, well, why do we want to keep these same players? They stink. In terms of overall rate of return, the Giants rank 9th with 76.8% of their players return. Per Fitzgerald, league averages is a 71.4 return rate. So the Giants, returning 76.8% of their players. While going 3-14 last year, the Giants were 2-9 in games decided by 10 points or less. They couldn't find ways to win the big one, the close ones. Offensively, the Giants are clearly banking on Russell Wilson and Jameson Winston and Jackson Dart to make a difference in some of those close games. Giants did lose 5 games by more than 20 points last year. They're also banking on defensive upgrades with Carter, Holland, Adebo, and Darius Alexander to make sure fewer games get out of hand. We will see in a few months if Shane and Daboll have made the right bet. Yeah, well, yes, we will. But I mean, that's a heck of a gamble that we saw last season. The offense was, yeah. So that is a heck of a bet. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Certainly hope they're right. But I mean, this is kind of shocking. Yeah. You really think about it.